Nation, I'm Derek Zammit, 4-star quarterback, committed to the University of Washington.
You are Locked On Huskies, your daily podcast on the Washington Huskies, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back into a special bonus edition of the Locked On Huskies podcast. I'm Roman Tomashoff. That guy down on the end over there, that's Lars Hanson. He writes with me over at Huskies Wire. And with us today, we've got Washington's 2026 quarterback commit, as he did a wonderful job telling us about himself in the intro. 4-star quarterback Derek Zammit. Thank you for making this your first watch or first listen of the day, as we are part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Now, Derek, we're not going to waste any time. We're just going to jump right into it. You are just coming off your official visit to Washington. It was your second time out here in as many months, and just tell us a little bit about your visit.
Yeah, it was awesome. You felt the hospitality as soon as you got out here. I think the best part about it was just meeting the other kids in my class, other kids on official visits, whether they were committed or not, and just getting, put names to faces, obviously spending more time with the staff. We were out here for 3 or 4 days. Just being around everybody, getting to check everything out again. So it was a really good weekend. It was a lot of fun. They structure it really well. They kind of show you everything. It was a great time.
So I guess without, we didn't have those AI glasses that you can kind of just take through, firsthand view of what we got to see. But I guess just what was the visit like? What was the visit weekend like? And you kind of alluded to it a little bit. You had Madden Williams up for an official visit. You had Daniel Odom for an official visit, and Van Spafford up. All three guys committed elsewhere. So obviously now you're placed to say certain things about that. But just kind of, what was it? How did the staff structure that dynamic? Because Roman and I talked about that on the podcast, where it's like you're bringing 3 coveted receivers in on the same weekend with your quarterback commit. It's pretty significant to us.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the big thing for me, not force them to do anything, obviously with a flip, but kind of give them my pitch, tell them why I'm committed and what I see. I see a vision of, I trust Coach Fisch, and I trust, what he's got planned for this program. So, you kind of want them to want to come here naturally. So you don't really want to force anything, but, just kind of getting to know them as a person. And they're all 3 guys that I could see myself playing with and want to play with in the future. So, I'm going to stay on them. I'm going to keep trying to convince them that Washington's the right place. But it was good to spend a lot of time with them and to meet them all in person for the first time.
So, Derek, one thing I'm really curious about is you chose Washington over a top 4 that also included Alabama, Mississippi State, and Syracuse. And one thing, as Washington fans are very familiar with is Kalen DeBoer. And it seems like you got to go down there for a visit, and then, not too long after you're up here, and you said you trusted Coach Fisch. What was it that Jedd Fisch was selling that really put him over the top, and you said that's the guy that I want to trust with my development in college?
Yeah, I mean, he came out here to New Jersey, and obviously, it's not an easy trip, so that meant a lot to me. Just talking to him, he seems like a great guy. He's from New Jersey, so that was kind of a focal point of the conversation there, just having something in common. He's been in the NFL, he's been, in college, obviously. We've done a bunch of Zoom meetings even before I got out to Washington. Just talking football, going over the offense. They run the NFL system. So it was cool to just kind of see, their plays over at Arizona, and then this past year at Washington, and then kind of directly correlated with, Matt Stafford throwing the ball to, Cooper Kupp is the same thing. So, as a quarterback that, wants to make it to the highest level, I think that's super important, just having that NFL offense and the NFL mind. And like I said, he's a great guy. Just talking to him, he's very personable. So I just think, especially with the head coach and quarterback, having that connection there is super important.
And Derek, you mentioned that NFL mindset. When I got the opportunity to talk to your dad a couple weeks ago, and he told me a story, and I almost didn't believe it. I was like, wait, did I hear that right? Did I write that down on my notes correctly? Because obviously the story is up on Huskies where Roman signed off on it. So I was like, I just want to make sure I was correct about this. But you got the opportunity to play at MetLife, correct me if I'm wrong, when you were 5 years old. What was that moment like, and how much of that do you still remember? And was that kind of the birth of Derek Zammit, the quarterback with an NFL mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it, super vividly. It was at a halftime game of a preseason game at MetLife. So just being able to, it was a super cool experience. Obviously, little 5-year-old me thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And still, even when we go play state championships at MetLife, I think it's the coolest thing in the world. So being on the big stage, especially with all those fans in there, even though it was just a preseason game, like that kind of is the reason I fell in love with football. Just being able to play on those big stages, even when I was young, even if it was just for fun, just being there and experiencing it, getting a little taste of it, what it's like at the highest level, is really kind of made me fall in love with the sport. So, that was a super cool experience though when I was younger.
So going off of that, I feel like there's only one question that makes sense here. Playing at MetLife, that's an amazing experience. I don't think there are many football stadiums in the country that are literally farther away than Husky Stadium. Yeah. And you're coming across the country. Like I went to school in Boston, so a lot of people on the East Coast, they aren't necessarily, very learned about Washington, really is the best way to put it. So after you did your research, what were some of the things about Washington outside of what Coach Fisch told you that might have been, for you at least this is a place that I really want to consider?
I mean, I like to consider myself, pretty open-minded. So, every school was up for consideration. And to me, the most important thing is my future. So no matter where I got to go, I'll be willing to do it. So, obviously Coach Fisch was a big part of it. Coach Dougherty, all the coaches really on that staff, Coach J.P. Lossman, he was huge in my process. And then obviously the offense, like I said, was really important. But the area, I mean, the school is a great school, great area, right outside the city. There's a ton of stuff to do. There's a ton of opportunity there, obviously, being in a major city. So, I just felt like once I stepped on campus, I kind of had an idea of what I was walking into. But once I got out there, met everybody in person, got to look around and see what they had to offer. I kind of just got that vibe that this is where I want to be. And this is where, I think I could start building my future.
And kind of build, going off of that, what is something, when you talk about the J.P. Lossman effect where, obviously he's the kind of GA quality control coach, but he's an NFL guy when Jedd Fisch talks about the 33rd team and the NFL trend that we're currently on right now. What does it kind of do as a dynamic where you obviously have the relationship with the head coach, Jimmie Dougherty, like you mentioned, but what does kind of JP do? Because I think he didn't he create a text string with you or something like that, where it's hey, this is a personal connection, not just hey, I'm JP, I'm a former NFL quarterback, good to meet you, come play. It's no, it's actually a personal connection there. It sounds like.
Yeah, no, for sure he did. So pretty much as soon as I started being recruited heavily by them, and as soon as he arrived, really, he made a text chain with me and my whole family and a bunch of the offensive coaches. So. I think it really speaks volumes to it's not only the head coach or the OC, they got guys down the line, and JP, I'm sure he'll work his way up in the coaching world. Obviously, he played in the league, and he's a very smart football mind. So, even leaking down towards the quality control guys, even it's just great relationships, great minds, very smart people. That all have kind of a common goal and common mindset of, we want to win football games and we love football. So that's definitely big for me. And even just on this past OV weekend, Jacob Smith, he was kind of my host the whole time. And even him, just talking to him, you could tell he loves football and he really loves his job, loves what he does. And we have a super, great relationship now. So I think the fact that, Coach Fisch's ideals kind of trickle down towards the rest of the staff, it shows a lot about the program, and it means a lot to me.
We're going to hear more about Derek's visit on the other side of the break. Because we've got a message from our good friends over at FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are in full swing, and every night delivers highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off and live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big, which is great news. If you want to go check out any of the odds on the Washington Huskies this season, the over-under for their win total right now is set at 7.5. 2.5. And when we look at the schedule, I really think that the over is going to hit. You look at who they're going to play at home this year, where they got to go on the road: Maryland, Michigan, Wisconsin, Washington State, and UCLA. I think that schedule sets up really, really nicely for Demond Williams, Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston, all these other stars that are on the roster, and they're really going to help Washington get back to prominence. 8-9 wins feels like an almost certainty, in my opinion, at least. And if you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. Head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. So, Derek, we've had a couple of commits on this show after their official visits, and they've all had different experiences to talk about, like, oh, hey, I really like this part of the visit. I really like that part. Everyone always posts the fantastic meals that you guys get on social media, which I personally am always really jealous of. Was there any one, event, meal, whatever it might have been that really stood out to you? It was like, oh, yeah, this was really cool for one reason or another.
Yeah, the meals were definitely really good. Everything was kind of like
rubbing it a little more, man.
Yeah, right. Everything was kind of like buffet style stuff. So there was no shortage of food. We ate good out there, but I'd say a really cool part, the photo shoot was cool just because they had, they were kind of serving dinner at the same time, and we were kind of walking all around the stadium. And that was right after we got off a boat ride. We took out a huge boat. I think it was called like Big Dog or something like that. So we took out that boat and we got on the water, and we're kind of right on the water, right in front of Seattle. So you saw the Space Needle, you saw the city. So that was dope for sure. And then obviously right after that, we got off the boat, did the photo shoot. So yeah, I'd say that was probably the coolest part. Obviously the food was good, all the presentations, just kind of taking all the information, meeting the staff kind of outside of the game of football, the support staff and all them. So that type of stuff was cool, but I'd say definitely the photo shoot and the boat ride was the coolest part.
So, Roman, it's going to be a throwback to the last class with Devin Hyde. Do they still do the Legos? Did you do a Lego activity, and what did you make? Yeah,
so we did do the Lego activity, and I remember I think Matt and Daniel were in my group, and they had us they had us answer a question. It was like, what does your future look like at Washington? And they gave you a bunch of Legos. So they do this thing, it's called My Time. I'm sure you guys know about it. But yeah, so they had us kind of try to do that. And we built Husky Stadium. We tried to build Husky Stadium with the field, the goalpost, and we built a little trophy and put it off to the side, kind of representing the national championship trophy. So we kind of said that, we envision our future looking like playing in the stadium with all the fans, just playing football and obviously bringing home a natty. So,
Roman, that bold prediction wasn't so bold. Just want to throw that out there real quick.
No, I like that a lot. So Derek, one thing I'm really curious about is you mentioned the presentations, and it's something that, the general public, the fans, everydayers here on the show, they don't necessarily get to ever hear a lot about what some of those things are, because, correct me if I'm wrong, they take you through just stuff like strength and conditioning, quarterback plans, all these different things. What were some of just the different things that might have stood out to you from those meetings?
Yeah, I mean, they did a strength and conditioning presentation in the weight room. So T.O. did a great job with that. And then, they kind of talked quarterback-specific stuff, pre-post practice, arm care, all that. And then, obviously, they do presentations like academic, all that stuff. They did their fifth quarter program presentation. So that's all the stuff kind of outside of football, in your future looking past football. So that was good stuff. And then me and Coach Dougherty got to sit down and watch some film. So that's always good, just talking ball. But, yeah, I mean, they did a good job of it this year. They kind of – some of those presentations could get a little dragged out and be a little boring sometimes, but they did a good job. They kind of had little 15-minute increments of, talking to different people in different areas. So they made it to the point where you were getting all the information, but at the same time not boring you out.
So the perfect jumping off point to that, you're from Wayne, New Jersey, which sounds like it's a suburb about 20-ish minutes outside New York City. As a big Sopranos guy, it sounds like people in Wayne were surprised that you're going across the country. Your dad jokes, it's like, could he have picked any further? Literally, could he have picked any? I guess if you went to the University of Alaska, which I don't know if they have a football program, I think that's about as far as you can go away, further than Seattle. What was kind of their vibe? And take us through, I guess, what's Derek's hometown like? What did it mean to the people of Wayne when you announced that you were coming to Washington? And having seen Seattle, like, what does it mean to kind of put on for Wayne in that respect?
Yeah, so my high school is in Wayne. I'm actually from Lincoln Park. It's a small town. It's right next to Wayne. But, yeah, my high school is in Wayne. So, it means a lot for me personally, just kind of, once I get out there, Washington, moving day, just kind of, represent for the East Coast guys. But, yeah, it definitely was a surprise to a lot of people that I was going to Washington, considering, the distance and all that. But like I said before, I would do anything for my future where I think the best opportunity's at. So, I kind of don't really listen to what anybody else has to say. Obviously my family's all on board. They're super supportive, and the community around me is super supportive as well. So they were definitely shocked, but definitely didn't lose an ounce of support.
So, Derek, last thing for me, I like to ask this to all the recruits we're able to get on the show. You talked about, being able to get to know Vance Spafford, Daniel Odom, Madden Williams. To anybody out there, 2026 class and beyond, who might be considering Washington, if you get 30 seconds to just say, hey, this is why I chose Washington and why you should do it too, what would you say?
Yeah, if you want to be in the building with good people every day, with a common, goal mindset, up-and-coming program with, Coach Fisch, I think this is the place for you. If you want to be in a pro-style offense, they got a motto. They say be a pro every day. So that's, in the classroom, in the weight room, on the field. So if you really want to be prepared for the next level, but also do it with some great people, have a great time, enjoy each other's company, and you love football, I think Washington is definitely a suitable fit for you.
And obviously, we've talked about you ad nauseum on the podcast. People, there's not a bad word to say about you, or maybe people that don't know about you. First freshman in high school to win a state championship in New Jersey, non-public, so private schools, all that sort of thing. What is it like to play with Derek Zammit? Like, if you're your wide receiver, like, why is the reason Madden, Daniel, any of these guys should come and play for you? Like, why are you such a good fit in Jedd's offense, and kind of just 30 seconds just on your dynamic as a quarterback?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like to brag about myself, but obviously I do think I'm a very good football player. But the guys around me, I met a lot of new people, obviously coming to private school, being from a small town, but I think I connect with people really good, especially if it's about football. Because I really do. I love football. I love this game. I love, doing what I do. So, if you're my teammate, if you're my receiver, I think you could ask, all the receivers I got in high school. We have a good time every day, and we work on our craft, and it's, we definitely get work in, but we also just enjoy each other's company and have fun through the process, because really a big reason why a lot of kids start playing football is just have fun. So I think we don't lose sight of that. And we just, we get to work and we win football games.
Derek, this has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Lars, as always, thank you so much for being here to all the everydayers out there. We really do appreciate you tuning in. And for more awesome interviews like this, we're going to have so many more throughout the summer, throughout the offseason. Please make sure you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. So that's YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. We're there. We're everywhere. We're updating this channel with new content every single day. So make sure you click that like button, click that little bell so you don't miss when we post a new video. If you have questions, comments, concerns, drop right down below in the comment section. And if you're audio only, please give us 5-star reviews. It does help us out a lot. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll talk to you on Friday.